Fuck MAGA. The people that say MAGA don't care about anything other than trolling people. That's all this entire presidency is. This is the rejoicing of the trolls, nothing more. Troll president. He might not think of himself as that, but that is what he is. All of this is a giant act of vandalism or public defecation or whatever. There's no resolute political philosophy at play. It's societal pyromania. I know you already know all of this, I just needed to vent. God damn it. Fucking Trump. What the fuck?
Yeah, obviously. And you can try to ask these people questions. You can say, hey, why did you care so much about deficits under Obama, but not under Trump? Why did you make a big deal about the Obamas eating nice food when Trump wastes money like crazy? Why does Hillary Clinton need to be locked up for using a private email server, but Ivanka Trump doing the same thing is apparently just fine? And you know, there is no answer. Their answer is, fuck you, our side can do whatever we want. Try and stop us. It's infuriating. The only good thing is everyone knows they're acting in bad faith and nobody's buying it except themselves. Judging by the results of the midterm elections, this strategy is failing because it's not a strategy that's designed to work long term. It just isn't. You know, I've always been amused by that acronym, MAGA. It just sounds so primitive and guttural. It sounds like something that Sauron's brainwashed orcs would chant. MAGA! MAGA! They don't know what it means. They don't really care. They just chant it because everyone else is. MAGA! MAGA! Mordor all great again! MAGA! 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 You know, that's one thing that's really changed for me here in the last 6 months. I no longer try to debate conservatives online. It's pointless. I used to, though. I spent years doing it. Years of my life that I'll never get back. The funny thing, though, is that the people who actually believe in Trump, the real supporters, they actually don't talk about him much anymore. They'd rather talk about anything else because they know he's flailing. You can ask them, hey, did you hear about how he refused to visit cemeteries on Veterans Day because he didn't want his hair to get wet? And they'll say, nope, didn't hear about that. The only people still shoving Trump in everyone's faces are the trolls. It's really hard to find real people who've actually benefited from his policies over the last 2 years. Although, the people who are in the business of storing soybeans, like the people who sell grain silos or those big plastic sleeves that they put beans into, now those people are making off like bandits. I think those are the people who really love Trump, people who sell soybean storage equipment and soybean storage accessories. But you know what? I don't live in soybean country, and neither do the people who come to me online and throw all this crap in my face. They're just trolls, and you can't argue with them using facts and reason. You can't anymore, because they have a whole shitload of alternative facts and fake conspiracy gibberish from all these online hellholes. Instead of debating anything, they'll just dump a bunch of links on you. Links to all these fucking 45-minute videos, all these giant threads from Reddit, and they'll say, duh, look at all my evidence, refute it. Yeah, like I have 10 hours to waste on this bullshit. It's asymmetrical informational warfare, and I refuse to play their little games anymore. Back in the day, we used to actually debate things. We would debate whether the Iraq War was a good idea, and whether it was going to work. We used to debate about Obamacare, and whether that was a good idea. But imagine trying to argue with someone who would tell you with a straight face that the Iraq War never happened, that there was never any such person as Saddam Hussein, but he did in fact have weapons of mass destruction, and they have an hour-long YouTube video that proves it. You can't argue with that. Duh. Here is photographic proof that Trump's inauguration was the largest in history. The National Park Service tried to cover it up. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? How am I supposed to respond? With a different Photoshop? I can use Photoshop. I could make a fake picture of Trump's inauguration being attended by like 3 people. Will that change your mind? No. At this point, there's nothing left to do except to try to troll the trolls. Troll them back. If you come to me and you tell me that the only reason that the Democrats did well in the midterms is because millions of illegal immigrants are voting, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, good. I'm glad. Remember when Russia helped Trump win and you didn't give a shit? Well, I don't give a shit about the illegals voting. Illegal immigrants voting for Democrats is a good thing. You see, God wants the Democrats to win, so anything that helps them win is good and is ordained by God. That's just how it is. See this guy? This is Jose. He voted for Nancy Pelosi 20 times. All of his fellow MS-13 gang members, they voted at least 15 times apiece. They're going to keep doing it. Try and stop them. You can't. If you want the Republicans to do well in the next election, well, you better vote 20 times like old Jose here. Learn how to do it. Come on, if Jose can figure out how to vote 20 times, surely you're smart enough to do it, right? And if you come at me with a whole bunch of conspiracy gibberish about how the Russia investigation is just a sinister plot to unseat Donald Trump, you know what I'm going to say? Good. It's going to work, too. Oh, yeah, Donald Trump is totally innocent. He's never committed any crimes. He never colluded with anyone, and he's never laundered a single Russian ruble in his life. He's still going down, though, because the deep state is after him. Robert Mueller is a fucking assassin. He works for George Soros himself, and you know what? He doesn't want America to be great again. That's why he has to destroy Trump. Try and stop him. What, you think you can? You do that and you're done for. What, you don't think Robert Mueller has access to the voting records that show everyone who voted for Trump? He can access your Facebook too. Let's see how MAGA you are when that black bag goes over your head in the middle of the night, motherfucker. You see? That's all you can do. That's the only language that these trolls understand, so if you're going to speak to them at all, you have to speak to them in the language that they know. Facts, reason, civility, all that's kind of on pause for now, sadly. Maybe it'll be back in the future. It's not just the trolls. I'm also kind of done with edgelords. Well, I'll still bicker with them on Twitter because that's fun. But when it comes to watching their videos, not so much. You know the kind of people I'm talking about. The edgelord nihilist Bernie bro libertarians who are too smart and sophisticated to bother with voting. I don't want to talk about them too much tonight because I have a much longer video planned about them. But right now, I just want to say this. If you choose to debate a nihilist edgelord, you should always be aware of that one crazy trick they have. They have this little rhetorical escape hatch that they can use to declare victory in basically any argument. You see, an edgelord, they can be massively, immensely wrong about something.
Donald Trump is going to move the Republican Party to the left. In terms of economics, gay rights, and drug legalization policy, he's going to be more to the left than Hillary Clinton in most cases, you know?
And they're completely wrong.
Also, Avengers Age of Ultron is going to be better than The Force Awakens. Here's my reasons.
And yeah, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. They're wrong. The opposite of right. They are not correct. But the thing is, they don't have to admit they're wrong, because at some point they also said something like,
What? I said Donald Trump was going to be a lying piece of shit because everyone's a lying piece of shit. Everything sucks, so I was right. And The Force Awakens sucks because all movies suck. Last Jedi sucks worse. I was right. Everything sucks.
And if you take that position, the nihilist position, you'll never really be wrong. They're embracing some sort of basic, axiomatic, emotional judgment on all of reality. It kind of precludes any intelligent debate. What edgelords seem to fear the most is to be proven wrong on anything, to have the other edgelords point at them and make fun of them for believing something. You see, they didn't learn to debate in your fancy colleges. They came up on the internet. They have their degree from Fuckface Academy, where the only rule is never be vulnerable, never be wrong, never go out on a limb. Never say anything unless you know the other fuckfaces agree with you. And the one thing that can never be disproven is everything sucks, life is crap. That's just how they feel. You can't prove that they should feel otherwise, so they win. The nihilist always wins, at least according to the nihilist rules of engagement. It's kind of the inverse of what certain religious-minded people have done over the years. There are people who say that everything is good because everything is in accordance with the will of God.
You can look up this book from Voltaire called Candide and this character named Dr. Pangloss. He did that a lot.
To them, nothing is wrong because everything is great. Any horrible tragedy, it doesn't matter. It's good because God wanted it to happen. Any kind of suffering that happens to you, any wrong decision, any mistake, any accident, it's good because God wants you to learn like humility or something. Imagine someone saying, everything that happens is for the greater good, convince me otherwise. You can't. Dr. Pangloss says that everything is good, everything is for the best in this best of all possible worlds, and the amazing atheist says that everything is shit, that everything is for the worse in this worst of all possible worlds. You can't argue with either one of them and win, because they have a system of values that makes it impossible for you to do so. It's a little like trying to argue with the banana slug that The Dark Knight is a better movie than Batman and Robin. The banana slug is not equipped to have that debate. You can sit there for an hour detailing every way in which The Dark Knight is a better movie than Batman and Robin, and in the end the banana slug is just going to say,
Well, I'm not convinced. I'm just a slug. This is all just a bunch of light and noise and words that I don't understand. I'm a slug. Give me some mold or whatever the fuck slugs eat.
A lot of the time these days, that's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm debating banana slugs on the internet. MAGA trolls, nihilists, edgelords. There's very little point in engaging with them, except to sharpen your own rhetorical skills. Am I doing that now? I don't know. Fuck!
While we must, of course, await the disclosures that will be found in Robert Mueller's report, I will say this for myself. If everything is as it seems, then we have gone far beyond what occurred during Watergate. This level of corruption cannot be sanctioned or overlooked. It must be prosecuted and denounced in the public square as vigorously as possible, and we must send a strong message to the Russians and any other bad actors that the US will no longer tolerate this sort of interference in our internal affairs. To do otherwise would be grossly negligent.
Yes. On a purely personal level, I can certainly find concordance with that. However, if I take a step back, I can appreciate the pragmatic concerns voiced by several others on our panel. There does seem to be a consensus emerging that it may be more beneficial in the long run to allow him to serve out the last 2 years of his term as a lame duck. We must assume that he will be defeated fairly and step down, at which point our systems can organically contain the damage. It may not give us the visceral satisfaction of an impeachment, but it would also deny Vladimir Putin the drama, the chaos that he so craves to see in our nation.
Very interesting talk, gentlemen. Now let us welcome to the panel a guest from the audience who has his own unique viewpoint on these matters. This is Mr. Hutchison Waldell from Cockneck, West Virginia. Mr. Waldell, what would you like to share with us?
Yeah, no, I think this is all a load of horse shit. Because he's the greatest president maybe ever, and this is all just a big witch hunt. George Soros and the mother deep staters, they're only going after him because they don't want America to be great. They want to get rid of all us good white men and replace us with Mexicans, and they want to turn our kids into fucking faggots. If I had my way, he'd put Mueller and all them other guys in jail, or hell, they should probably be executed. They're working for Satan and Trump's on the side of Jesus. That's all there is to it, buddy.
Thank you, Mr. Waldell. It is always helpful and illuminating to hear what the average American thinks at times like these. Gentlemen, good night.
What the hell is that thing doing in our bed? Get it out of there.
Don't you fucking touch her!
Whoa. There.
Don't you fucking touch her!
Whoa. There.
Don't you fucking touch her!
Whoa. Motherfucker! Whoa.
He's in trouble. He needs us.
Get the fuck out of here.
Had you going for a minute there, didn't I? Huh?
Yeah.
How'd you going?
Yeah.
Ellie, the chairman asked me to... Jeepers! Sorry. Jeez, this is all kinds of uncomfortable. On like a couple of levels here.
And we are hobbled. Hobbled, I say.
What the fuck are you looking at?
I'm Tiger Shark.
And we are hobbled. Hobbled, I say. What the fuck are you looking at? I'm Tiger Shark.
Don't you fucking touch her!
Whoa.